All right. Good morning and welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining our 30-minute coffee talk presentation. We're going to go ahead and get started. We'll introduce ourselves. Holly and I will introduce ourselves. We're your hosts today. Oh, Sherry brought her puppy on. I brought coffee. I don't know if anyone else brought coffee. We called it a coffee talk, but let me do this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
There.
And
okay.
then did you want to put it on presenter view or no?
Yes, thank you. But I think you have to do it yourself on your end.
Okay.
There. Okay. So now you guys, just so you know, for the purposes of the playback, the speaker will be kind of illuminated over the screen. Okay. So we're going to really quickly go over sort of what we do as coaches, the training and support coaches receive, how you can earn income, and basically how you get started. But first, we wanted to introduce ourselves. So since I started first, I guess I'll go first. My name is Ellen. I live in Oregon. So I am now a Pacific Northwesterner and love it. I'm originally from Texas, but grew up in the Midwest in Chicago. And I have 3 kids. They are 20, 18, and 16. And I happen to be in the health and fitness industry, but that is neither here nor there. That doesn't have to necessarily have to do anything to do with being a quote-unquote coach. I say that because that can be a misconception when people think of me doing coaching. I think they sometimes think those things are married or related, and they absolutely don't need to be. And so I teach fitness classes in a gym. I'm married for the 2nd time, and I got into this business because I was looking for a job. I needed income, didn't have a college education or had part of one, no real job skills to speak of. And we were in a position where I desperately needed to contribute to household earnings. We went through a period, ended up filing bankruptcy because the debt was so insurmountable. Along with debt, there's huge strain on marriage and just anxiety. So I remember feeling at the time that coaching, this opportunity came across my line of sight and I became aware of it. I remember feeling anxious and just incongruent in my life and I felt double, like there were 2 sides of me, because in my day job, which was the teaching fitness classes that you don't really make money in, by the way. Holly knows that. You put on your happy face. You go with big happy energy. That's part of that job. That's part of being good at that job. And so I was always mustering up this edifice for the world, and it just didn't feel like who I really was on the inside, who was someone that was scared and just, like I say, anxious. Like I'm talking panic attack level for so long. And so I doing these business presentations isn't necessarily like, I've done them every month. Holly and I have partnered recently, and it's been cool. The last one we did about a month ago, I was so pleased with the outcome of it. And I feel like we just didn't even plan it. I mean, we're like, let's talk about what we do, how we train people, how you earn, and how to get started. And like, that was the skeleton of the framework we went into this presentation with. And we didn't say, what are you going to talk about? And what are you going to say? And what should I say? We just talked from our hearts, and it was so wonderful. So I hope we can replicate that again, but I'm kind of going out about this one in the same manner. But in any event, what was I going to say about that? I share this every month because I feel a genuine kind of sense of burden, or not burden, kind of burden. I feel like I owe it back to the world, because it has changed the quality of my life so much. I can, because having financial freedom, and I do want to say I'm not like, a multi-millionaire, but this business has given me financial freedom to buy whatever I want at the grocery store, freedom to afford things for my children, freedom to go on vacation, freedom to just not worry about money, freedom to not live month to month, freedom to save, invest. And I can't not share that. And I also have become so convinced that people need, that boredom isn't good. And idle time is not good for people on any level. And I do think that having multiple revenue streams is good. And thank you for the private, someone sent me a private message. Thank you. I think that you need a side hustle. You guys, I think you need a side hustle, and we have one for you if you are into health and fitness at all, or you wish you were into health and fitness. We've got one for you. Okay. Sorry, Holly, that was a little long-winded. Why don't you introduce yourself and then go right into what we do?
Okay, fantastic. So my name is Holly Hireman, and I've been doing this since May 31st, 2008 is my official start date. So that's when I started, and literally myself, my upline, and all the people who came on board with me in that same day, we sat around like this for 9 months going, what should we do? What should we do? Because none of us knew what to do. So I'm so excited that we do have the opportunity to share this with you. We're going to talk about like what we do. We're going to talk about how to make money, if this is even right for you. How in the world do you find the time to do something like this? How does this even work? Like, any questions that you have right now, I guarantee Ellen had them, I had them, and there is no question that you could ask us that we haven't heard before. So the beautiful thing is there is an opportunity here, should you be interested, that you could, if you were to say, I really want to go after that, then you could literally create the life that you want. So I want to take you back a little bit. Actually, I'll share a little bit of my story. I'm going to keep this brief. My story started about 2 years before I joined as a Beachbody coach. I actually went through a pretty terrible divorce, and that left me with a tremendous amount of debt. I was a couple $100,000 in debt. Some of that did get paid off because it got repossessed. So a lot of stuff got repossessed. A lot of stuff happened. I had to short sale my house. This was back in the crash of 2008. Everybody talks about how bad the housing market and everything crashed. Well, I was part of that. And so we did short sell the house. But I did have at least, I wish I would have counted it, but I was so afraid to know the actual number. I never actually calculated it completely, but it was at least $50,000 of credit card debt. Had a great job. Here's the deal. I had a great job. I worked for Chalene Johnson. If you know who Chalene is, Turbo Fire, Turbo Jam, Chalene Extreme, PIO, that's the #1 fitness infomercial on air right now. I was vice president of her company. I had a great job. But the problem was I didn't make enough in order to pay off the debt that I had, and like literally in financial ruin. So I sat down and I figured out, and I remember the day, I was like, okay, so if I keep working, and at the time I was working about 50 to 60 hours a week for Chalene. I was working also, I was doing fitness certifications during the weekends, and I was teaching fitness classes before and after work. So I was working about 60 to 70 hours per week on average. And I sat down and then I was like, okay, I need to make more money. So I started doing personal training. I put it all on paper and I said, wow, okay, I'll be able to pay off this debt in about 10 to 15 years. And that's when my heart sunk. And I was like, I'm exhausted. I can't even remember my name. I'm working so hard and so much, and I can't get out of this debt, like for a long time coming. And that was really, really disheartening to me. And so I started looking into bankruptcy. Right about that time, someone said, hey, you should check out this Beachbody thing. And of course, I thought all the same things. I was like, oh my God, that's a pyramid. That's a scam. I don't want to have home parties. I don't want to hold inventory. I'm going to make all my friends and family like run as soon as they see me coming. Like this is the worst. This is the worst thing I've ever heard of. Are you kidding me? And I'm not joking, you guys, but somebody told me a couple things. It was actually somebody from Beachbody. Because Shalene and Brett, I love them so much. Okay. So Brett Johnson is Shalene's husband. And like I said, I worked for them for 10 years and they said, look, Holly, we're not going to make a dime if you decide to do this, but we believe that this could help you with your financial situation. Like you should at least look at it. So they set up a meeting with me from somebody from Beachbody that was kind of heading up the whole network marketing thing. And I sat there and I asked them every question. He said a couple of things. Number one, look, the average earnings of somebody who is has about 8 people on their team is about $20,000 a year. And I went, 20, like, can you imagine getting a $20,000 a year bonus? That's the average. They're like, okay, well, people are making, like in the 6 figures that have that number, but that's the average. And I was like, okay, I think I could be average. I think I want to be average and nobody else is going to give me a 20 grand raise. So that was one of the things. And then the other thing was they said, look, if you work consistently, it's going to pay off. You will make money, like you will. And if you're a hard worker, then this is the perfect thing for you. And so I was like, boom, boom, boom. I'm sold. I'm in. I'm going to at least give it a year. I'm going to give it a good try. I carved out as much time as I possibly could. Within 2 years, I paid off all of the debt. And within 4 years, actually hit the millionaire club. And then within 6 years, we were at the multimillionaire club. And like Brett and Shalene looked at me. They're like, why are you still here? I was like, because this is a part-time thing. Like having a Beachbody business is a part-time thing. Like, what else am I going to do with the rest of my time? I'm used to working 60 hours a week. So to me, that was like, I only committed 10 hours a week to this business. And that's about on average what I work now. Some weeks it's more, some weeks it's less. Like I said at the beginning of this, my kids are sick. They've been home sick all week. It's a lot less this week. I'm taking care of sick kids. So, but from the beginning, that's where we've been. When we're kids, like we think we can do anything. We think we can do anything. Like you ask a first grader, like, can you climb Mount Everest? They're like, I can. We think we can do anything. And then something happens, as we start to grow up and like reality starts to set in, life starts to set in and we go, oh, not me. Oh, that's not for me. Oh, I just need to work harder. I just need to work more hours. I just need to put in more time. I just need to go back to school. I just need to go into hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, collecting all these different educational things and then maybe get a job and maybe pay it off in 20 years. Like, it doesn't make sense. The way that we do things, we can't do things today the way our parents did. We can't do things today the way our grandparents did. The educational system has to change. And the whole thing is like our entire lives have moved to online. There is no reason why we can't move to an online business model. So I want you to ask yourself some questions. I'm going to get into what we do next, but I just want you to think for a moment. Like, how often do you stress about money? Like, how often do you sit and go, I don't know if we're going to make the electric bill this month. I don't have enough money for the mortgage. Just how often do you stress about money? Like, what would that mean for you if you didn't have that pressure, that burden? Ellen said in the beginning, like, financial freedom, you guys. No, money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys you choices. It buys you time. And it does buy you the freedom to give. And that's one thing that I've been so diligent about from the beginning. I'm like, I've always tithed, even when I was so broke. Like, that was always number one. And it's still number one for us. We do that first. We always do that first. And I can give more now. It's not about being selfish. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have money. It's about, like, the more money I have, the more I can give away, the more I can do with it, and the more time I can spend with my kids, and the more I can help other people figure out how to do this too. So that's the benefit and the beauty of it. How much time do you spend with your family? Would you like to have more time for that? How much time do you spend at work? I remember one day I went, man, I spend more time with my coworkers than I do with the people that I love. Like, that's backwards. It didn't make any sense to me. And, think about these things, even retirement, college funds, those things that our grandparents, they used to work 30 years at a job, retire, and then they're good. They had money. We don't have that anymore. The way that our system is set up now, it's not like that. So, you know, this is the type of business. The beautiful thing is this is the type of business that will reward you for your hard work, like I said before, but it also will reward you for helping other people. Like, you cannot be successful in something like this if you're not willing to help someone else. So this is kind of like a framework of like what we do as coaches. Number one, we work on ourselves. You know, I didn't say this before, but I chose to go into the fitness industry because it was not something that came easily to me. I was an overweight child. I was an overweight gymnast. I have lots of standing injuries because I lived that life. I didn't know how to eat, etc. I chose the fitness industry because I was an overweight gymnast who became anorexic after I stopped gymnastics. And I said to myself, what am I going to do? Because I was afraid to blow up, you know, I was scared that I was going to go back to that body, but I also knew that I couldn't live in anorexia my whole life. So I chose to go into an industry that was going to keep me accountable in both ways. And that really was that was a decision that I made, not because I have a passion for fitness. It's because I knew I needed that layer, that whole level of accountability. So what we do as coaches, number one, we work on ourselves. We work on our brain. We work on our relationships. We work on our communication skills. We work on our own health and fitness. That's number one. The second thing is we invite other people along on the journey. We say, hey, do you need some help financially? Look, let's do this together. And I think that together we can create some financial stability for ourselves. And then the other thing we do is we get to set our own hours, of course. You get to work on your own schedule, but you get to invite people along on the journey that you're on. So you don't have to be at your after body in order to do this. In fact, the best traction that I've had in my business has been immediately after I've had both my kids. I gained 50 pounds from my first son and 35 pounds with my second. And I've had so much insane traction during that time because people are like, oh, you're trying to lose weight? Me too. I haven't had as much luck when I'm in the thinner stages because it's harder for people to relate. So sometimes people say, I need to get to my after before I can share. Absolutely not. But I have those pictures because people say, oh, well, you don't understand because you don't have weight to lose. I'll be like, well, look at this 50 pounds I lost. Look at this 35 pounds I lost. I get it. And I'm going to help you. So that's what we do as coaches. We invite other people along on the journey. And that's gosh, in a nutshell, we don't have to hold inventory. We just share what we're doing and we invite other people along with us. And that's essentially how you grow your business. So I will turn it over to Ellen once again.
All right. Okay. This section right here, I think will go a little bit quicker. I'm just going to talk briefly on the training and support we have to offer and kind of just tell you that the company itself has evolved as the times have changed. So we started back in 2007, 2008. And by we, I don't really mean we. I mean John Congdon and Carl Deichler. They're the co-CEOs. And it was an infomercial business and a DVD business. And, there was some pretty big name, back with what was out there, Rock and Body and, gosh, I can't remember some of the first programs right now, but Chilean Extreme, not quite yet. But in those early days, P90X came out and kind of put us on the map. And what was really unique about our fitness solution is that we preach the message that you actually had to work hard, be committed, be consistent to see results. And that's just not the message that you hear from the competitors that we have out there, even to this day, that want us to patch it, wrap it, pill form it, whatever, to have instant, quick, easy results. That's not our message in fitness. That's not our message with finance. Holly and I will both tell you till we're blue in the face that we've worked hard. We've worked hard with this business to get where we are. And income is really proportional to what you put into it. So we have evolved today to an on-demand fitness library. We have over 600 workout programs, everything from prenatal fitness to high intensity interval training type programs. We've got the whole gamut. We have stuff for people that like to dance. We have people workout programs for people that like super athletic training. We've got a smorgasbord. So we work on programs ourselves, and we try to help people find the programs that work for them. They're all married to a nutrition program, and that's something that has also evolved. So we've got the Ultimate Reset. We've got these huge cleanses. We've got our cornerstone product, Shakeology, which is a whole entire webinar all of its own. We should do Shakeology webinars, Holly. But Shakeology is like our Mac Daddy supplement. It is, it's a protein shake, but so much more. It's a vitamin and mineral replacement. It's our pre and probiotics, digestive enzymes, superfoods, high fiber, low glycemic, low carb, low sugar, all natural, gluten-free, yada, yada, yada. That's our primary product. So pretty much throw a dart in any coach in the industry, unless, like I have one coach that's allergic to nightshades. Like she can't have, there's an ingredient in there, a superfood that she can't tolerate. So we pretty much are all utilizing at least Shakeology and our Beachbody On Demand programs. So as far as training and support, we fold you in, we meet you where you are. We first have to find out where you are. We first have to find out what you want, and what you want might change. Sometimes people come in thinking, all right, I just want to get my Shakeology paid for. I just want to consume Shakeology, but make enough money that it's a wash. It doesn't cost me anything. Okay, so we'll work with you towards that goal. You're going to need 3 customers. So let's work on hitting that goal for you. And then maybe like a month later, they're like, okay, actually, I kind of want to run an online challenge group. Actually, maybe I kind of want to work towards $500 a month or $2,000 a month or whatever. So when we know and understand you, we can better mentor you towards your goals. And that's really what this is all about. We are not salesy, pushy people. I'm in Holly's downline, so she's in my upline. And yes, there are yucky, spammy, pushy network marketers out there. Oh my gosh, there are. They copy and paste "Hey girl" messages in my inbox all the time. And I'm like, please stop. But that's not a message. That's not an ethic. That's not a part of the culture that you'll ever get in our organization. We want to live an authentic, magnetic, attractive life that includes our products, so that people are curious and want to know and ask us, or that we've created an environment with the people in our lives that it's comfortable talking to them about our health and our solutions in fitness and in finance. So we meet you where you are. We do a lot on social media. So a lot of people come into this network. I was one of them that I was like, I don't do Facebook. I don't even know. I don't do Instagram. I don't know what's a hashtag. So we just help you figure that out to your comfort level. Like we continue to work with you. Maybe you would never be the kind of coach that would lead a live webinar once a month. So we all have different strengths, and that's why we're a team. So you can lean on the strengths of other people on your team. Let's see. I also just wanted to quickly mention that we have live events. There's a quarterly live event that no matter where you live in the country, we are also now in the UK and in Canada. You can go to a quarterly event where it's like a shot in the arm, a little education, a little motivation, and those are called Super Saturdays. We have one coming up actually in January. And then we have an annual convention, which we encourage all coaches to try to go. Holly and I usually connect and have big team dinners or little parties there where we bring everyone together, or we rent a house. So, oops, sorry about that, you guys. Sorry about that. I got a phone call and it came through on the webinar. So that's just a little bit about training and support. We meet you where you're at. We take you by the hand. We have the systems. We have new coach trainings. We help you hit and try to hit different ranks. I'm sorry about that phone call. Keep coming in. Okay, Holly, do you want to take them through how to earn?
Yes, absolutely. So there are a couple ways to earn, of course. As you probably figured out, yes, you do make commissions. That's like the very base level. So 25%, you make 25% regardless if it's a $5 product or a $100 product, you always make the 25%. So there's no quotas. A lot of other companies out there, you have to sell like a minimum of $500 before they'll even give you any commissions. We're not like that. A lot of other companies will only give you about a 10 or 15% commission. We're 25%. So that's beautiful. You also save 25% on anything that you purchase yourself too. So that a lot of times, people do this for different reasons. My reason was financial freedom. Ellen's reason was financial freedom. I have other coaches on my team. Their reason is accountability, because just having that label of a coach helps to keep them accountable to their own health and fitness goals. Another reason, of course, is for the discount. But here's where you can really make some really good money. Okay. So we're going to talk about that because like I said before, money is not evil. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's, trust me, it's okay. It's not evil, but it's a touchy subject for some people. And I realize that. We're going to talk about how you can really start to make a huge difference. And like I said before, if you have more money, you're able to make a larger impact on the people that you love and other people, generosity through charities and whatnot. So let's talk first about how residual income works. Okay. So I drew this beautiful picture for you. You see it? There's my beautiful picture for you. This top section here represents time. Okay. That's a clock. In case anybody's wondering about my artwork, that's supposed to be a clock. So this top one represents time, and then this bottom one, of course, represents money. Imagine for just a moment, this is like each one of these is a year. Okay, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ideally, within 2 to 5 years, you're able to get to a point of financial freedom. That's always the ideal, okay? So, because like Ellen said before, I need to move that back a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. Like Ellen said before, this isn't get rich quick. It's legit. That means you have to do the work, okay? So in order to get to financial freedom, this first year, it's going to feel like you're putting in a lot of time for just a little bit of money, okay? You see that little tiny triangle right there? Because, in this first year, like I said, I was doing 10 hours a week, but my checks, I think, I can't exactly remember, but it was around $300 or something, But in the very, very, very beginning, I'm making like $30 a week, right? 10 hours for $30 a week, that doesn't seem good. That seems like a bad deal. But it starts to grow. You do the same 10 hours, and then, oh, look, you get a bigger triangle. You get a bigger slice. And then it starts to grow, and you do the same 10 hours, and then the scales start to tip in your favor. You make more money for less time. You do the same 10 hours, and you're making more money. So this is the idea behind residual income. Another way to explain residual income is just point blank. Think of an artist, a music artist. I always give this example. They spend years writing a song, practicing a song, getting the band together, recording the song. They're getting like no money, right? And then the song becomes a hit. And then it's residual for years and years and years to come. That's how residual income works. That's how a business like this works. It's legitimate money because you put in all this time, right? And now I'm only putting in like 10 hours a week, but the payout is like, what? For 10 hours a week? Are you kidding me? That's how a business like this should work, okay? That's residual income. You put in a lot of time in the beginning, and then it continues to pay you because you worked your tail off in order to make it a success, okay? So it's ideally full-time income, part-time hours. That's the idea. Within 2 to 5 years, we say if you are able to commit and be consistent, that's where most people fail. So if you're like, well, I know so many people have tried these home businesses before and they didn't make it work. And I'll tell you, it's because of this one thing, consistency. Because they'll try really hard for a week and then they'll let it go for 2 months. And then they'll try really hard for 2 weeks and then they'll let it go for 3 months. And then they'll say, I'm back in it. And they'll try really hard for a month, but then they're like, oh, I think I'm going to rest for the next 5 months. So the consistency is the missing ingredient. And that is the reason why a lot of network marketing or home businesses don't work. It's that one ingredient. So if we can save you right now, it's that. Be consistent and you're going to be great. Okay. The other cool thing is like Beachbody gives you customers. If you hit a certain quota every single month, they actually give you customers, people that you don't know. I have thousands of customers that I make commissions on, all because I hit that quota from the get-go. So every month I'm getting new customers. I get to call them. I get to help them. I get to add them to my groups and assist them with their health and fitness goals. And sometimes those people become coaches and distributors as well. The other cool part about this business, I know what you're thinking, like how does this, like, how, right? If I'm the only person that's doing this, how can this really bring financial freedom to me? And I'm going to talk to you about the whole idea of it's called a team cycle bonus. And this is where you're going to make the bulk of your income. And this is what makes up this residual income model, what I just talked about. So let's talk. I'm going to show you another art project. Oh, you guys are so impressed. See, anybody can do this, right? All right. So this dot right here represents the person who invited you on to the call, okay? Invited you to watch this webinar. This is the person who invited you. So you are the next one. You are blue, okay? The orange dots represent the person who invited you. The blue dots represent you and anybody that you invite into this business. So you go right away and you say, okay, I'm going to invite my best friend and my coworker. Okay. So you right away, you sign on 2 people in order to do this. Now, you see these lines? This is how we're all connected. So like, for instance, Ellen and I, like I would be here and Ellen would be, down in here somewhere. So they're all connected. So you actually, the harder you work, the more income not only you earn, but also your sponsor will earn. So here's the deal. Like it's in our best interest. We don't make anything if we can't make you successful. Like we really don't make an income if we can't help you get success. Okay. That's really important for you to understand because there are, if you've heard the term pyramid scheme before, the whole idea is that you just sign people up and you don't train them. You don't do anything with them. You get like a huge payout just from them signing up. And that's it. That's not for us, which is good because that means you have to work hard. So it's in my best interest to help the people that I recruit and also help the people that they recruit. Okay. So the more we're able to help the people on our teams, which is why we have training systems. Ellen runs trainings for her coaches. I run trainings for my coaches. I'm one-on-one with my new coaches every single week. Because that is what's going to make them successful. So now it's not just you, okay, but you have some team members. But here's the cool part. It's not just about the people that you recruit. Oh, this blue person recruited this red person, okay? So now you start to make an income off of that person. So does it behoove you to help that person too? Yes. And look, now your sponsor up here signed a new person and they land in your lineage. That means that you're also going to make an income from them. So, and it goes on and on and on, and it's a true team cycle bonus. Literally, I log into my online office. It says you have like, I don't know, 30,000 people in your downline, in your organization. I personally have brought in 100 in less than 10 years. Personally, that's how many I have right now. Some come, some go, but I have 100. But I've got like 30,000 plus or so in my downline. It's because of this model, okay? And like I said before, the more you're able to help your people be successful, the more successful you will be. So that's like our number one driving force. And the reason I still do these webinars, and so does Ellen, is because if we can help you help other people, then this thing grows bigger. And think about how many people you know that are obese. Think about how many people you know that have diabetes. Think about how many people you know that need a financial solution, that are on food stamps, that have a big, huge need for something like this, whether it's physical or financial. Think about all of those people. And if you're like, well, I don't know. Well, here's a statistic for you. At least 80% of the US is in debt, like bad. So there you go. Probably 80% of the people that you know need a solution like this. And so that's why I do this, is because, like Ellen said in the beginning, I feel a responsibility to help people. So, Ellen's going to talk to you about how to get started, but I want you to think about this really quick. What is your plan B? Like, what is your plan B? If your number one income goes away tomorrow, what's your fallback plan? What are you going to do? Or how are you going to get out of the debt that you're in now? Or how are you going to change your life physically because you need to get your blood sugars in check? What are you going to do? We have an opportunity for you. So Ellen, I'm going to kick it back to you, my friend.
Okay, that was so awesome. I've never seen that second art project before. And I've never heard her put into perspective the magnitude of her downline and the trickle down effect. It's like growing a garden. And mine is like a little microcosm of hers. I have a few dozen personally sponsored coaches that I'm so blessed and love working with and talking to. Sherry's one of them. She's on this call. Sherry and I have talked every single day since she enrolled. It took me 5 freaking years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. And she finally said yes. And I didn't badger her. I just 5 years, finally. But we've talked every day since, and I love her, and we've become close friends. Like Holly and I love each other and have become close friends, even though we don't even live in the same state. So this business is amazing. It brought the best people in my life into my life. But it's cool because I only have a few dozen that I work with and talk to regularly, but then there's a few hundred in my team. So, and Holly was, a few hundred personally sponsored with a few 30,000 or whatever in her downline. So anyway, that's just how it grows slowly and how we all are part of the same family. Let's see. First, I'm going to talk on how to get started, and I'm going to wrap up just in 3 minutes, you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. I did want to touch a little bit on why before I said how, and Holly already mentioned a little bit of this, but there really are different reasons, and please don't be confused because Holly and I, as I've come to find out, we're very similar. We're very similar, so that don't be misled by that. Because if you were to look at my whole team and the leaders on my team, or if you look at the top 10 people in the company, you'd be like, holy diversity. But she and I are very similar. So I struggled and still struggle with food. I can gain 5 to 10 pounds in a weekend, I promise. I can gain 5 to 10 pounds by just thinking about food. And I, so I too, like Holly mentioned, I've always wanted to surround myself with a fortress of accountability because it's an area that I personally struggle. I relate to women who struggle. That's probably why it's a passion of mine. So in any case, some people are drawn to, and Holly and I also, the bankruptcy thing, she didn't have to file. I did have to file. But the point is we were looking for income. So we came into this very similarly and have very similar, we're the type that would do a webinar. Not everyone is. But some people come into this and they have income. They have income. Maybe they just want to be part of the culture and community. I was just I just did a photo shoot in Portland, and there was a lady doing my hair and makeup. I still haven't washed it because I still think it looks kind of pretty. It's been a few days, but it's kind of pretty still, so I'm just going to not wash it for days. She was doing my hair. We were talking, what do you do? And I was like, well, I kind of do this coaching thing. And she's like, oh, Beachbody. She's like, my best friend does it. She's lost 40 pounds. She's like, what was it? The 21-day fix? Yeah, she's lost 40 pounds. She posts about it every single day. She's like, you should see her transformation. And she pulls it up, shows me her transformation. And she's drinking Shakeology every day, doing her workout, posting about it. And I'm like, who is her coach? Is she coaching? And she's like, no, she doesn't have a coach. I'm like, what? So I'm like, give me her phone number. That girl is coaching. She's just not getting paid for it. She's already doing it. She's, bought her Beachbody On Demand membership via the internet. And she's literally coaching. She's just not officially a coach, so she's not getting paid. So there are people like that out there. I actually work with some of them that they just fell in love with our products. They just bought online. They responded to an infomercial or an internet ad, and they're already repping the products because they've changed their fitness. And so people like that sometimes are like, yeah, okay, I'd like to get some commissions because I'm already selling the stuff. So yeah, the hairdresser and makeup artist was like, yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm going to buy it. I'm like, well, she needs to enroll as a coach and you should buy from her. So it's kind of like that. And then there's people like me that were looking for income. There's people that we've had people come into the organization I have that are like morbidly obese and they want to coach because they need the community. And I love it. I love having that for them. We even have coaches that we kind of refer to as discount coaches because that's honestly all they want is product discount. So lots of reasons why. And then let me talk about the how as we close. Wait, before I do that, there is no inventory. I think you guys got that. There is no contract. So if you were to be like, yeah, no, surrounding myself with awesome people, working on my fitness, working on personal development, having awesome dense nutrition every day is not my thing. You could quit. So you're not like signing your life away. You're not investing into inventory. You're actually consuming most of your investment. It's like $16 a month to have your website and your viable links where your storefront, your online storefront, but then you're also consuming the product because really, like you have, of course, integrity, authenticity, you want to be consuming. And that's actually when Holly started the webinar, that's the first thing that we do is we become proof that our products work. So your Shakeology as a coach with the discount is $99. So most coaches have an out-of-pocket expense that monthly reoccurs of $115 together. That's your business fee and your product. Again, you're consuming most of that cost. You're ingesting it. It's your one of your meals. So we have what's called a bundle deal. It's our best value. It's what we recommend. It's called a challenge pack. It gives you a year of Beachbody on demand, your Netflix of fitness library, and it includes your first month of Shakeology. So that $160 bundle is your best value for enrolling as a coach. We also have a money back guarantee. But if you watch this and you're like, okay, because you know Eric Worre, he's this network marketing pro. He says people need to hear something 5 times. Sherry needed to hear it 500 times for 5 years, but he says 5 times. He says most people need to like think about it like 5 times, be presented with this like, what do I think about this? So maybe this is your first time and you're like, I don't know, but I really would like to lose weight. There's a new year coming, maybe I just want to start as a client or a customer. And so that's wonderful too. We would still recommend the challenge pack solution for you, which is the online fitness and the Shakeology. You just wouldn't have you would be spending more money because your Shakeology would cost more and you wouldn't have a link for people to order product. But either way, it's still the best value. It's just a better value if you're ready to jump in as a distributor like us. And I promise I hope you could tell from the passion in our voices from Holly and I that we genuinely love this. And I love the people on my team. I think we tend to attract people in life. I think if you're on this webinar, it's because you relate to whoever invited you. So we tend to, those dots that Holly was drawing in her art project, we tend to attract people that we actually like. I've found that to be the case. I mean, I wouldn't have known her and we're 2 peas in a pod. So I think we just tend to do that. So we love working with you. Our goal is to make you successful, like she said. So we hope that, that you'll act. You spent the time being here today with us for 44 minutes. So we hope that you act and you reach out to the person that invited you. All right. Thank you guys so much. We will post the recording in case you wanted to rewatch or share it with someone yourself. All right, guys. Till next time. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Bye, guys.